What's up, and welcome to the 479 HogCast. Today, we're joined with Eli Shu, owner of Executive Custom Homes, and he went to his first ever Razorback football game.
That's right.
He's not even a football fan.
No, I don't watch football on a weekly basis. I really don't watch any sports. It's just not my thing. I haven't ever been that interested in it, but I've also just been so overwhelmed with work. I really don't have time to just sit down and kind of watch a game from start to finish. I mean, it's like 4 hours long. It's like, how do you even do that?
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
Did you ever watch football as a kid? Like any sports at all? Like, did you play any sports? Like, what was growing up?
My parents were huge fans of the Dallas Cowboys, my dad and my grandpa. So we'd watch that every weekend, and they kind of suck us into watching by giving us popcorn and stuff on the TV. So the only experience I do have is watching that with them, which I still was never interested in it. But I did go to a Dallas Cowboys game on Thanksgiving when I was younger. I was actually on the first row, or like the second row, right next to the field there. So that was a pretty cool experience. Got on the Jumbotron a bunch of times because I was that crazy kid waving his wagger.
Oh, you did get on the Jumbotron.
I got on it multiple times.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's the only time I've ever been to a football game in person.
In Jerry World. All right. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I'll come back to that. I'll have a couple questions for that. But so you went to the Razorback game. What about this game? Why did you decide to go to this game right now?
So my wife is a student at the U of A, and she got the student pass for her and her friend to go to some of the games. And she's like, "Hey, we found you a ticket if you want to go." And so I went along with them, and it would just happen to be this weekend, the weekend that they're playing against the
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. I always forget the name.
What a game to go to, right?
Yeah,
Anyway.
It was quite the game.
Yeah. So I'm sure before you went, you probably had some expectations. Like, what is this going to be like? Because you've never been, I mean, you've obviously been to the University of Arkansas, but you've never been to a football game there.
Yeah.
So what was your expectations like? What did you think going in? Like, how did your expectations line up to what actually happened during the game day?
So my expectations kind of came from the NFL game that I went to at the AT&T Stadium, and so I would say those were pretty high expectations because back when I went, it was still a big deal, and the tickets were pretty pricey and stuff.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, since I was in the student section, I ended up we got there an hour early and still ended up in the very top of the stadium. Probably almost got cut off from even getting in at all. The line stretched all the way from the Razorback Stadium to the Bud Walton Arena, which is where we were at, waiting in line, which is not a typical experience, so I'm not going to really include that much. It's just what I experienced. That was pretty chaotic, and we didn't even get in before the national anthem. So we're walking up the stairs when the Jets fly over, and it's like, and it's like, oh, we're in a staircase, and so that sucked to not get to see that. But ultimately, it's such a slow game. And being in the student section, you just hear people yelling at the refs, saying F you to the refs and stuff.
What kind of
like
stuff
that.
were they saying?
Oh man, they were saying fire Sam Pittman, F the ref, bad calls, and then
Gotta love the SEC.
After the first quarter, when things started to get ahead, that's when students started to pick up their stuff and start leaving, and I have videos of that, so I'm sure you'll put that in there, overlaying over this footage right now. It was pretty crazy because I've never seen that before. I've never seen people just starting to pick up and leave, like, by the hundreds.
So I want to ask you this. So from kind of an outsider's perspective, you don't follow the Razorbacks. You don't, necessarily, you don't really care about how they perform. You probably don't keep up with them. What do you think about? Like, do you think, they're mediocre? Like, what is your thoughts on the overall state of football that you've heard maybe a little bit? What do you think about the team? Like, the team the last couple of years, like, what is your thoughts on just a little bit of knowledge? How do you think they are?
Yeah, I mean, I think football is largely a strategy game, and there's so many different strategies you can pick from when you're doing a football game compared to other sports. And I feel like you have to have a good coach that takes advantage of that and can see, all right, they need to go back. Like we live in a day and age where you can see videos of teams' past games. So they should go back that whole season and study these games that Notre Dame's already played and say, hey, this is the strategy they've been picking. What can we do to get around that strategy and catch them off guard? Because there's, you've got this whole field. There's a lot of different strategies you can pick from. And they really did not take advantage of that, which of course comes down to the coach. You got to have a good coach. I think, football, there's a lot of good players on every team. If you don't have a coach to put that all together, then the team's going to fail because there's no one to lead them into the proper strategy. They're going to tell them what to do. That's the thing. The coach is telling them, hey, this is the strategy we're going with. And if it doesn't work out, that's on the coach, not the players.
Did you call the Hogs? Well, let's do a two-part. Did you call the Hogs, and what did you think about everybody calling the Hogs? Did you know how to do it?
Yeah, of course I know how to do it. I've heard it my whole childhood. It's a pretty standard thing. People in my family watch the Hogs and stuff like that.
I told him before the game he had to call the Hogs. And I tried to teach him a little bit of, when to do it.
Yep.
It's just one of those things you kind of feel it. You know when it's going to happen. Did you call the Hogs though?
I did.
You did call the Hogs.
I did.
All right, that's a good thing. We got to get him back whenever we get a new head coach that is actually knows how to win some games. We're going to get him back there and
competent.
Yeah, we're going to get him calling the Hogs. That is awesome. How hard was it to follow what was actually going on in the field? I mean, since you're not really a football fan, did you really understand what was going on when the big plays happened? Did you really understand that, or were you just kind of following what the crowd was reacting to?
Yeah, I mean, I do understand football and how it works, but that arena is kind of strange. They've only got 2 big TVs on either end, so because of how far up I was, looking down at the field, they're like pretty small down on the field. Then you can barely even look at the screen because the sun's shining on one screen, and the other one you can barely see because it's in your blind spot. So it was not a great spot to watch from. I think if I was lower down, closer to the field, I would have followed it a little better. But I mean, I watched some of the spots where they took passes and whatever, but it's like they stop playing or take a timeout or whatever, and then you get distracted for a second, and by the time you look up, Notre Dame scored another point and you missed it because you don't really see what's going on when you're that far back.
What's something that stood out to you the most, like the biggest thing in the game that happened that you're like, oh wow, that's weird? Like, what was the biggest takeaway from your whole experience in Fayetteville?
Well, the funniest thing was whenever they handed the ball over before halftime, and then Notre Dame scored in the final 20 seconds or something like that. I was laughing, dude. Oh, that was hilarious.
I mean, what can you do except laugh at that point? Because you can kind of see how the game's going. You're like, okay, why am I even here?
Yeah. Like they could have kept the ball, but they decided not to.
What part of the game grabbed your attention the most? Like the players, the crowd, the atmosphere, the fumbles? Like what was the most attention grabbing part of your experience in Razorback Stadium?
Probably the hog that they have on site.
Oh, Big Red?
Tusk.
The real live one.
The real live hog.
That's
My
pretty
wife
cool.
was going nuts over it. We got pictures of it. I'm sure we'll pop it up.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
real far away from us, but he was right next to the window, so you could see him just laying there.
Oh yeah.
And so that
Gotta love some Tusk.
I know it sounds stupid, but I swear that's pretty awesome to have a hog just sitting there.
Yeah. Did you? Now I know you were in the student section, so you might not have. Did you encounter any Notre Dame fans or anything like that? Anything stood out to you? Interacted with them or anything like that?
So when we were waiting in line, the sorority houses all have parties before the game, and anytime a Notre Dame fan walked by the sorority house, the guys went nuts, absolutely nuts. They
Like
were
in what way?
Cussing them out,
Oh, okay.
and saying you suck. You think about 30 guys just yelling at a Notre Dame fan.
Mm-hmm.
That was hilarious. I wish I got a video of that.
I went to a Chiefs game when I was little, and I was wearing Packers stuff. And I might have told this story before, but I was probably 8 years old at the time, and there were grown adults flipping me off, saying "F you" to me, and an 8-year-old kid. And I'm asking my dad, I'm like, "What did I do?" And he's like, "It's football," you know. And it's you understand it now, but as a kid, I'm like, why would you just do that to somebody? But okay, I mean, I'm all for it now. I'd do the same thing.
What?
Okay, so did you notice when the Hogs started? Because they were hanging on at first during that first quarter, and then obviously in the second quarter they just let go of the rope completely. Did you notice? And I'm sure you did. Did you notice the energy shift from people freaking out, whoop-higging, to just kind of people understood what was about to happen?
No, the funniest thing is whenever they put the get loud things on the screens and tell you to get loud, and then like nobody does anything.
Yeah.
I think that is the funniest thing. It says stand up, get loud, and nobody does anything.
Oh, you gotta love that. Welcome to the bottom of the SEC right there, guys. All right.
The only time people are making noise is whenever it's third down. That's when people start rumbling.
Yeah. What did you think about now? My grandpa thinks this is annoying. Every time that the Razorbacks get a first down, they say, and that's an Arkansas Razorback. And everybody says first down. They might not have got many first downs in that game, but...
Yeah, I don't think that was a thing on that game.
Anyway, how would you, if you went... You have some family in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
If you went to Pennsylvania and some people there asked you, what are Razorback fans like? Why do people care about the Razorbacks? What would you say? Like, why do people care? What is the Razorback? What are they like? What's
honestly,
it like over
based off of that game, I have no idea why they care. But I would say it's a local team. You know, you care about your local team. It's like even the Bentonville High School football team. That's a pretty big deal for a football team. But that's also because they're really good, from what I understand. I don't know though. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. So after going to this game, do you like football more or less? Would you know what's your
that
opinion
game?
on that?
Okay, that game was horrible. I like it less. 100%.
You like football less now?
Yeah.
Even would you be more likely to go to not even a Razorback game, but a different game?
I'd probably go to an NFL game. I'm actually going to a Chiefs game.
Okay.
Here in October or something like that. There's one in Kansas City that I'm going to go to. Not really my choice, but I was invited to go free of charge, so
yeah.
I'm going.
Why not, right? Yeah. So the big headliner of this game, right after the game, well, not right after, the day after the game, head coach Sam Pittman was fired after 6 years with the football program. How do you feel knowing it was his last game coaching the Razorbacks and you attended it? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel glad that he was fired, because holy crap.
Yeah.
That was an embarrassment. Can you imagine half of your stadium walking out at halftime, before halftime, kind of in that time there?
Do you have the feeling like, because it's not every day a coach gets fired, especially a head coach.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you might have witnessed a little bit of history, or is it just kind of like you don't really care all that much, so it's just whatever?
I think the coaches get fired all the time. I think that's pretty normal now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's usually 6 or 7 years. I mean, so
really?
You know, you're witnessing something that happens, you know, maybe once or twice a decade.
I mean, that was quite the game to do it, man. They took full advantage of that opportunity. I can tell you that.
So, if you were to go to another Razorback game, how much would you pay for a ticket? What's the most you would pay to attend another Razorback game?
Like $15.
Well, good luck with that. So, the concessions were expensive. That's one of my biggest complaints, because you don't have to charge $9 for a soda. You just don't. Like, you just don't have to do it. That's just pure greed on the part of the university. They have to pay us $9 million buyout somehow.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? Like, getting food and stuff. You said you got some snacks and stuff, so...
Yeah, there wasn't that many options. I really only went to one spot, but there wasn't a ton of options there. It's like, you can get like a jambalaya for like $15, or you can get like a hot dog, which was surprisingly like the cheapest item was a hot dog. It's like $6. Or something like that.
Isn't that crazy? I think the sodas are like $9, if I remember right from the last one I went to.
Yeah, I didn't get a soda. I got a Powerade because it was only like $1 more than the water.
Yeah.
It was about $6 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought that's crazy. I'm not a huge fan of that. Like even at like a concert, I won't usually get more than I have to.
Yeah. For
that same reason, because it's just like it's so expensive.
So you left at halftime, right?
I left at halftime.
What? I think I know the answer to this, but why did you leave at halftime? Was it more of just you kind of wanted to join the crowd of everyone else leaving? You're like, let's make a statement, or you just, this is boring, I want to go home?
My wife and her friend were done. They were the ones who originally were so excited about it.
And they were just done. They had no
done,
energy left.
Done by halftime.
Yeah.
They were like, "This is stupid.
Yeah.
Why did we come here?"
So you would say overall you regretted coming.
I wouldn't say I regretted it. They thought it was fine, but
Mhm.
it certainly wasn't the best game, especially with how long we waited in line.
Yeah. How long did you wait in line again?
We got there an hour or an hour and a half before the doors open.
Okay. So you were there. You were waiting in line probably longer than you were at the game, watching gameplay.
That's right.
Welcome to Fayetteville. So, if you could give a rating out of 10 of your whole game day experience, from driving there to getting home, rating out of 10, what would you give it and why?
Well, that game was horrible, so I mean, I'm gonna have to go with a 4 or a 5.
4 out of 10? 4.5?
Yeah, it was really just
4.5, maybe the amount of wins the Razorbacks get this year.
I mean, you know how it is. It was just not a great game.
So what about if you went to a different game that they might have won? Do you think, what would your experience be then? If they just won the game, it was a good game, what would your experience be then, like out of 10?
Oh, it'd probably be a 7 or
7.
an 8.
Yeah. What could make it better? Well, if you could talk to the athletic director of Arkansas and you could tell him, he's asking you, what's something we could do to this stadium to make it better? What would make you come back? What would that be?
Well, they really need a better sound system. Sound system is terrible. You can't hear a word they're saying when they're talking on the field or anything like that. The bench seating is so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The person behind you is literally kicking you in your back, and you're trying not to kick the person in front of you in the back. Obviously, that's kind of unique to what I was doing, but that was rough.
Well, the whole stadium's like that.
Oh,
but you can rent a chair back for $20 per game. So if you're interested, $20 per game, you can get you a chair back.
I'm good.
Yeah. So
that was rough, and maybe a couple more screens. Like I said, I couldn't really see what was going on.
Yeah.
I was so far up.
Yeah. So just better screens, better sound system. I think the whole stadium really needs an update too. I don't know if you went to the bathrooms, but
I did not.
It just looks old. It just looks old. So, yeah, appreciate you coming on. Eli Shue, Executive Custom Homes. If you guys are interested in building a custom home in Northwest Arkansas, he's your guy. Check him out. We'll see you guys in the next one. You've been watching the 479 HogCast.